Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today is a slightly different one. I'm going to be talking about the latest discussions on Project Big Picture. The project proposed by Manchester United and Liverpool very recently, I think it was about a week ago. And yeah, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on that. I'm going to be saying what other people have been thinking about it and pretty much what it actually is, so you guys know if you don't know already. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button down below and press that notification bell so you're notified the second I upload. There's a lot of you watching this video that aren't already, as you can see on the screen. So yeah, like I said, make sure to press that button and press the notification bell. Also make sure to smash that like button. Let's see how much we can get on this video. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on into the discussion. Starting off with my opinions on the proposal, and in my opinion, it's another nail in the football coffin. Football is heading in the wrong direction. We've known this for a long time. You always hear the phrase, football's dead, football's gone mad. And every year it just feels like something new comes out. We've had VAR in recent years, the stupid ticket prices, and a lot of it. It's going downhill. It's not looking good for football, and I think this is another negative. I'm going to get onto why it's negative in a minute, but to begin with, I'm going to go through the positives. There are positives that are going to come from this, but overall, like I said, I think it's a negative. The first thing that comes of this that's a positive is that in this proposal it says £250 million will be given to the EFL immediately to compensate the lost matchday revenue. This is a major positive, as it will be very helpful in keeping certain clubs afloat. Obviously, as we know, a lot of clubs are struggling financially at the moment to sort of lower it down the pyramid. So it's essential we keep that. That's one of the key things to English football, and that is why our league is so incredible, because we have such a good pyramid. We have a lot of divisions, and not many countries have that. We have the biggest football pyramid in the world, and I think especially that top four divisions, every single one of them is relatively big in the grand scheme of things. I think even sort of League 2 have an average attendance higher than a lot of teams. It's in the top 15 average attendance leagues in the world, I actually think. So I think that says it all. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. In terms of helping that pyramid as well, they are also proposing to give £100 million a gift to grassroots, non-league and women's football to help keep them afloat. So like I said, this is all a positive, keeping clubs afloat. We do not want to be losing a lot of teams. We do not want to be losing our football pyramid, because I think that's crucial to football. Football will not be the same if we lose our non-league football and grassroots football and women's football for that matter. Another positive is that 25% of revenue made by Premier League and EFL clubs will be going directly to EFL clubs only. So a lot of the revenue made by Premier League clubs will be going down the pyramid, as opposed to just keeping it all in the higher leagues, meaning that we will start to see a separation. Hopefully that'll sort of narrow it down a little bit. We're also going to see 6% of gross revenue made by Premier League clubs go to stadium improvements in top 4 divisions, which is another positive, obviously helping the smaller clubs out financially, that maybe their stadiums have taken a bit of a toll as they've had to lay off staff and things like that. And yeah, that money will be able to go into repairing those stadiums when the fans return, hopefully very soon. And the final positive we have from this is the talking of the £20 away cap. Fans have been after this for ages. We've had the 20 is plenty campaign for God knows how long now, and they finally might be listening, and we might get that £20 cap. I think right now the away cap is £30, but £20 is where we wanted it to be. It's a very reasonable price in my opinion. I think you can expect it to go much lower than that. The next target has got to be getting the home tickets a lot cheaper. Obviously these days they are stupidly expensive still, but we're starting to make a move, and that is a positive. This also comes with a focus on the return of safe standing, something I think a lot of football fans are desperate to have back. Obviously back in the days the terraces were amazing. I never got to go on one because I was born after sort of that whole thing happened, and since then we've always had seating. I think safe standing, it won't be the same, but it is an improvement. Obviously a place like the Etihad, we have the South Stand where there's a lot of standing. That'll be helpful. At Tottenham, I'm sure they're desperate to get safe standing in on that massive stand they've got. And at United, I know they're thinking about getting safe standing in at the Stretford end. And I'm sure Liverpool are the same with the Kop. This also comes with a proposal to make a minimum away allocation of 8%, a major positive. I think we all know, those of us that have been on away days are the best part of football. Well, I guess for some people, I personally enjoy away days more than home games, other than the big games, and so having a higher chance of getting a ticket is obviously only going to be a positive. Anyway, now moving on to why I think this proposal is actually a negative thing for football. Yes, United and Liverpool put these proposals forward, and what I've just said makes it sound like a great idea. However, these things could be done anyway. We don't need the things that I'm about to say to happen as well. If they really cared about the lower leagues, they would literally just be making these proposals that I've just said and would leave it at that. But no, instead they have gone, and it is actually just for self-benefit. And yeah, in my opinion, the only reason these proposals were made and the things that I've just said are in there is so that they're more likely to be granted and so that these clubs can benefit. And if I'm honest, Man City will probably be one of the clubs that benefit from this proposal. Still think it's wrong because once upon a time City were not in a position and this would massively have impacted us. And had it happened 15 years ago, City would not be in the place they're in right now. So one of the key proposals and why I am massively against this idea is that the 9 longest serving Premier League clubs would get a special status, and the vote of 6 of these long-term Premier League stakeholders will be final, meaning clubs like City, clubs like United, clubs like Liverpool will be able to have the final say on things like amending rules and ownership, meaning we can keep the big teams big, keep the small teams small. This means the big 6 would all be able to have a say and prevent clubs like Newcastle getting their Saudi ownerships and competing with City. And this is why I think it's bad. I personally think, as a City fan, any club should be able to get a takeover. Any club should be able to break into that big 6 mould. I don't think football will be the same without it. You've obviously got your old football fans that say, you know, you can't just be good because of money. But the reality is every team that's good is good because of money. United had that ownership in the 60s, I think it was, when I can't remember who it was, but there's a rich family that took over. They succeeded. Preston early in football, they had money. They succeeded early. Even earlier than that, Blackburn succeeded because they had money. Chelsea succeeded because they had money. City have succeeded because we have money. It's just how it is. Football clubs should be able to be taken over and break that big 6 mould, because otherwise we are just going to have a situation like we have in Spain, like we have in Germany, where the same clubs win the league over and over again, and it's just not going to be entertaining. Another proposal, this is probably the one that's hit the most mainstream news, is that Man United and Liverpool, as part of the proposal, would like an 18-team Premier League. And in my opinion, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but on the whole, I just think it's a bad idea. I don't understand the benefit of decreasing the amount of teams you have by 2 and just increasing the amount of non-league teams you have. It means less teams have the access to Premier League money, and although they're trying to narrow down the gap between Premier League and EFL money, it's still a big difference, and so I don't get the benefit in making more teams worse. Another thing is, like I said earlier about the £20 away ticket cap, this is a major positive for football. However, you can guarantee that even though we're going to be losing 4 games a season, 2 home games a season ticket prices realistically are only going to be frozen or still increased, regardless of the fact the season ticket is offering you 2 less games a season. On the topic of 18 Premier League sides, this would mean we'd have 2 sides relegated as opposed to the old 3, and 1 team goes into a relegation playoff. This is similar to the Bundesliga format. This would mean that first and second would get automatic promotion in the Championship, and then you'd have third, fourth, fifth, and 16th in the Premier League going to a playoff. Personally, I dislike this idea. I would just have 16th relegated, gone, and have 6th players get the playoffs in the Championship. It makes the Championship more exciting. It's always good on the final day in the Championship when you see a number of teams fighting for that playoff spot. And in my opinion, it loses a bit of the fun of it if you just have 2 teams come into the Premier League that are new as opposed to 3. Another proposal is that the League Cup and Community Shield will be abolished. I'm 50-50 on this. Community Shield absolutely should be gone. I've disliked it for a long time. It's a decent trip to Wembley, I guess, for a small side, but for City fans, it's just unnecessary. We never sell out for it. I'd never go anymore because it's just an extra trip to Wembley. It's too expensive. When you consider City have not been to Wembley in a season since when? Like 2009, 2010. That's 10 years consecutive going to Wembley. The Community Shield is just an unnecessary added trip to Wembley. It's too much. And at the end of the day, it's an irrelevant friendly competition. The League Cup, however, as a City fan, I'm also going to like it. We've won it 3 times in a row. We're going for 4 now. We've won it, 6 times? We've won it 5 times in the last, 7 or so years. We've dominated the competition recently. I quite like it personally. I wouldn't like it to see it go. It's good for the odd away day. You can get some good away days because obviously you get larger away allocations. I don't see the point in really getting rid of it. In my opinion, it's more just to free up some midweek games for the big clubs. That's why they want to do it. I also see it being a reason for them to free up a few more games in the midweek and over time slowly moving towards the European Super League, an idea which again I'm opposed to. I don't really want it. The final thing to add on to this is the new loan system that could be in place. That would mean 15 players are allowed out on loan in England, 4 players would be allowed at the same club. This doesn't really make too much of an impact on most clubs. However, it is a negative for football as it allows big teams to farm young players, send them out on loan And yeah, it's just not a positive thing. It means the likes of City and Chelsea can just pick off the players of sort of League 1, League 2, Championship level and just loan them straight back out, meaning the lower league clubs do miss out on a lot of their good talent. Anyway, that is my thoughts on Project Big Picture. Leave yours down in the comments below. As I said at the start of the video, make sure to press that subscribe button and press the notification bell. There will be another video going live tomorrow on 5 people that could replace Pep Guardiola at the end of this season if his contract does expire. Anyway, leave a like and I will see you guys then. Goodbye.